From the 52nd floor of the Platinum Glass Tower in downtown Lagos, Michael Arinze looked down at the bustling city. His penthouse office reflected everything he'd built: sleek, powerful, impenetrable. Michael was a billionaire before 40. Founder of Arinze Holdings, he controlled a vast portfolio: tech, oil, real estate. His name was whispered in boardrooms, written in Forbes, and envied in elite clubs. He was the embodiment of success. But the man behind the glass had a secret. Every day at 4 p.m., when meetings died down and his calendar went silent, Michael walked to the east-facing window, took out a small pair of binoculars, and focused on one narrow alley off Broad Street. There, huddled in shadows and tin-roofed lean-tos, lived the forgotten, beggars, the homeless, children with eyes too hollow for their age. They called the place Dust Alley. No maps marked it, and the government acted like it didn't exist. Michael knew it all too well. It was where he was born. 30 years ago, a barefoot boy named Miko hustled under Lagos bridges, begging for bread, picking pockets when he had to. He slept beside leaking pipes, fought rats for scraps, and saw more death than birthdays. His mother had died in childbirth. His father? Unknown. By the time he was 7, he'd already been arrested once and beaten twice by gang thugs. But Miko had a mind that burned like fire. He listened when others ignored. He followed suit-wearing men into banks and learned how interest worked. He'd steal a newspaper just to read the business section. At 12, he befriended an aging bookseller who let him read for free as long as he returned the books undamaged. Miko consumed books on economics, science, leadership, devouring knowledge faster than hunger ever consumed his belly. At 17, he changed his name to Michael and disappeared from Dust Alley for good. Even with everything he had, yachts, jets, a seat at the World Economic Summit, Michael felt a hole inside him. The wealth didn't heal the wounds. The memory of a boy with sunburnt skin, dirty clothes, and a growling stomach haunted him. At a charity gala, a journalist asked a casual question. If you could fix one thing in Nigeria, what would it be? Michael's answer shocked everyone. I'd wipe Dust Alley off the map. Not by bulldozing it, but by lifting everyone inside out of poverty. Laughter followed. Ambitious, someone whispered. Impossible, another said. Michael didn't laugh. Within a week, he sold one of his prized mansions and redirected the funds into a private trust. He called it Project Rebirth. But he didn't throw money blindly. No cameras. No press. He went back to Dust Alley, disguised. Dressed in rags and a fake beard, he re-entered his old world. The place had only worsened. Now, addicts lay twitching in corners, mothers begged with babies strapped to their backs, and children, his own reflection, chased after cars for coins. He met Aisha, a 14-year-old girl who led a group of orphaned kids. Her voice was strong, her resolve stronger. What's your dream? He asked her one night. To not die here, she said simply. That night, Michael made his choice. Using anonymous donations, Michael built a secret night school under a broken warehouse. He hired retired teachers and off-duty nurses. Free food, clean water, and a safe place to sleep. He gave them notebooks instead of handouts. Skills instead of sermons. More kids came. Then teenagers. Some even brought their parents. He introduced vocational training, plumbing, tailoring, mechanics, coding. Small stipends encouraged attendance. But word spread fast, and not everyone was happy. Dust Alley was home to more than just beggars. It was a haven for small-time drug lords and gangs who preyed on the vulnerable. When the flow of beggars reduced, the gangs felt it in their pockets. One night, the school was raided. Books burned. A teacher beaten. Aisha stabbed while defending a boy. Michael rushed to the hospital, heart cracking as Aisha lay unconscious. I failed them, he whispered to himself. But when Aisha woke, she gripped his hand and said, "They fear us because we're rising." It reignited him. He used private investigators to expose the gang lords. Coordinated with off-duty police. Had thugs arrested quietly, cases filed, and politicians bribed to take action. In under a year, crime in Dust Alley dropped by 60%. 3 years into Project Rebirth, Dust Alley looked unrecognizable. The alley now had paved roads. A community center. A clinic. Microbusinesses funded by interest-free loans. Aisha, now 17, ran the community school. Several teens had earned scholarships. Others had steady jobs in the businesses Michael planted. At a national summit on poverty, the Minister for Social Welfare praised an unknown donor for transforming one of Nigeria's darkest corners. Michael sat in the crowd, anonymous. But when the minister asked if the donor was present, something in Michael shifted. He stood. Gasps filled the room. "I was born in Dust Alley," he began. "I'm not here for applause. I'm here to tell you, the poor don't need pity, they need opportunity." His voice echoed across Nigeria that night. In the following years, Project Rebirth expanded to 6 more communities. Michael created a model, community-led, skill-driven, and sustainable. He challenged other billionaires to join. Some did. But his greatest joy remained in Dust Alley. Aisha went on to attend Oxford. The school expanded into a full-time academy. The boy she saved that night? Now a top mechanic with his own shop. And Michael? He died at 67, not in a mansion, but in a modest home he built beside Dust Alley, surrounded by the children he once called family. At his funeral, the city came out in waves. Not for the billionaire who built skyscrapers. But for the man who helped the beggars rise. Years later, maps were redrawn. Where Dust Alley once stood, a new name shimmered in bold letters. Michael Arinze Community. Because the man who was once a beggar, had become a legend. True change doesn't start with power. It starts with compassion. Share this story to remind the world that no one is too small to dream, and no dream is too big to change the world.